The police are here to protect all our communities from harm. Being targeted because of who you are is totally unacceptable. We will work very closely with our communities to make sure that we protect the vulnerable and make ourselves available to you. You're going to now see how we work with the communities to ensure they are safe.
We introduced REACH in November 2011, and it's a new initiative by Warwickshire Police to combat hate crime. And the idea is that we want to get more information out into all sections of the community about how people can report hate crime to us and to increase people's confidence in Warwickshire Police. It has a harmful effect against the individual because they know they're being victimised because of who they are. And also, it can also be harmful against whole societies or groups in societies. And that's why we as the police must do all we can to tackle hate crime and give victims and witnesses the confidence to report to us.
Several years ago I was walking in the park with my two children, and about a group of 5-6 youngsters came up and tried to knock my turban off, and they also called me a name which is inappropriate. And rather than causing a scene, I just and because of my children being with me, I just carried on walking and as if nothing had happened. For anybody that's a victim, the hardest thing is to actually come forward. They'll just take it and move on and try and cope with it themselves and not realise that there are people there to actually help and support them.
Quite purposefully, we're promoting a range of methods that people can contact us. So there are a number of telephone numbers, including our hate crime reporting helpline that we're promoting. People can report online, they can come into a police station or go to a third-party reporting centre. It's quite important that people have a range of methods that will suit their particular needs to get in contact with us. And that's why we're taking this additional step to make sure that people understand how they can report to us, and we're promoting all of that information within community groups. So what we've actually done is briefed all of our PCSOs about hate crime, about barriers to reporting, and about all the ways that people can report hate crime to us. And we've asked the PCSOs to go into communities, actually find community groups and people that are at more risk of hate crime, and make sure that they have that information and that people know that they can contact us about hate crime.
I've collated places where I think it's best suited to, so ideally schools, high schools especially, because you've got the different age groups where people are quite vulnerable, but they're also at the age where they can be quite verbal. I've made it available to our parish councillors. We may not be able to go and see them, but we can advertise it to them, make them aware of it. I've also held talks in our village halls. As minor as that may seem, you'd be surprised at who attends. You have all age ranges, different nationalities, you don't know people's backgrounds, so you have anybody there. And it was just to generally sit and explain to them what I knew about hate crimes and why I think they should be reported, and what we as a force, Warwickshire Police Force, can do to help those once they have reported it.
So the PCSOs have targeted the information very well, but we're also trying to make sure that the wider public are also aware, because we think an important thing about hate crime is not just the victims feeling able to come forward, but also members of the public themselves. If they see something going on that amounts to a hate crime, they understand that they also can report it to us as well, and that is very much welcome, because any information about hate crime, we want to hear about it and we want to act upon it.
To get confidence, you've actually got to be in the community. You've got to reassure people, and they've got to build up that trust level, and you can only build up that if people are actually visible, if PCO officers are actually on the streets and people can relate to them. Some of the barriers that people have in reporting hate crime would be, for example, how they'd be perceived in their own community. They are telling something about somebody else, and how they would be dealt with in their or viewed in their own community. That could be a barrier.
A lot of people have the perception that it's something minor, it's a bit of name calling, but it starts with that, but it goes on to something, in some cases, a lot bigger, and it can sometimes become criminal. People don't feel comfortable reporting it because they don't think anything will get done about it. And what we have to do is change people's perceptions that we understand it, so we can inform those about it they then trust and believe in us that we will do something about it if they report it.
Some people get used to it as well, that this happens so often that they just sort of take it and just move on, rather than thinking that it's going to be a burden or a trouble if they go and report it.
If we have an incident, we'll make contact with them via telephone. We will ask them whether they want us to go and see them. They can come to us at the police station, or that we can go and visit them in the comfort of their own home. And then we'll listen to their problem, we'll listen to what's happening with them. If there's a criminal aspect, we'll give them reassurance that we will look into it further, and then go from there.
What we do want to do is see the number of people coming forward to report hate crimes go up. We're monitoring our data. We feel that hate crime is underreported and we want more people to come forward. We'll also be monitoring how we deal with victims and the satisfaction level of victims as well, because it's important that if people do take the step to contact us, that we offer them the best possible service and the best possible response.
This initiative by Warwickshire Police would help members of the community and encourage them to come forward to report incidents, because I think they would feel more confident that what they say would actually be A, listened to, and B, that there would be some response.
One of the things about hate crime is we act on the perception as well. We don't sort of insist upon proof that a hate crime has taken place. It's so important that if anybody believes or perceives there's been a hate crime, it's important that we get in there as soon as possible and look into it, see what support we can offer and investigate, and if appropriate and necessary, we bring offenders to justice.
If you feel you're a victim of hate crime, call us at Warwickshire Police.